Lieutenant Arthur Lowe, John LeMessurier, and Clive Dunn in Dad's Army. Sergeant Save My Boy, featuring John Lorry, Arnold Ridley, and Ian Lavender, with this week's guest, Pearl Hackner. Here is the news, and this is John Snag reading it. It is 1941. The Nazi menace, like a creeping pestilence, slowly stifles the life out of Europe. But here in Great Britain, thanks to our brave forces and the gallant men of the Home Guard, we continue to breathe the sweet air of freedom. At the local Home Guard headquarters at Warmington-on-Sea, Captain Mannering is about to begin one of his lectures.
Right, men. If you pay attention to the blackboard, you'll see that I've drawn this map of our section of the coastline. I want to review the tactical disposition of our forces in the light of the broader strategical picture as it now is.
In other words, where do we tell Jones to put his bayonet?
Yeah, thank you, Fred. Hitler is across the Channel, licking the wounds that we gave him at Dunkirk. But make no mistake about it, he is desperate and dangerous. And perhaps the more so now that he's enmeshed with our ally, the Russian bear.
I always thought they were communists.
Yeah, we won't go into that point. In times of stress, one can't be too choosy about one's bedfellows.
Especially when you get to his age.
Now, we stand here, shoulder to shoulder, on the shores of dear old Blighty. In the middle, Jack Tar is ruling the waves, while in the sky above us are, of course,
Seagulls.
Well, yes, Jones, there are seagulls, of course, but I was thinking more of...
Mr. Mannering.
Pike, you're late on parade.
Yeah, I'm sorry, sir.
We'll fall in right away.
Yes, sir.
Far too much of this laxity going on.
What do you say, Mr. Godfrey?
There's too much laxity.
It's a funny thing to be given a lecture about.
Well, Pike, what have you got to say for yourself?
My mum wouldn't let me have my tea until I tidied my room.
Come without your tea.
She won't let me come out without me tea.
Well, from now on, I'm taking a very serious view of absence without leave. Take this man's name, Sergeant Wilson.
Yes, sir.
Now, as I was saying, the enemy is drawn up in their phalanxes. Have you taken his name, Wilson?
Yes, sir.
Well, I didn't see you write it down.
Well, I don't have to write it down. I know it.
Wilson, when I tell you to take a man's name, you must write it down so that you don't forget it.
Well, I'm hardly likely to forget it, am I? I mean, I've known Frank Pike for 19 years.
Sergeant Wilson, I'm not suggesting that you're going to forget his name. What you might forget is the fact that you took it. Do I make myself clear?
Oh, yes, sir, yes.
It doesn't make himself clear to me.
Thank you. Now, as I was saying, what are you doing, Wilson?
Well, I'm tying a knot in my handkerchief, sir.
What for?
To remind me that I took Pike's name.
Wouldn't it be simpler to write it down?
I don't have any paper, you see.
But I should have thought that as the senior NCO, you would have had enough initiative to borrow a piece of paper. Has anyone got a piece of paper they can lend to Sergeant Wilson?
No. I'm afraid not, no.
Well, none of you?
You said you didn't want us to have anything in our pockets when we came on duty. Only name, rank, and number.
That was in case one of us might be captured.
You did not wish us to give them any intelligence, sir. Aye, and some of us haven't got very much to give away. Why are you looking at me, Private Fraser? Oh, if the carp fits. That's insubordination, that's it. It's insubordination.
All right,
sir.
all
Yes,
right.
yes, insubordination,
All
sir.
right, settle down. Now, where was I?
Why don't you stick it on the board?
Stick what on the board?
Pike's name.
Ah, yes. That's a very good suggestion.
Thanks.
Write it on the board, Sergeant Wilson.
All right, very good, sir. E-I-K-E. There now, how's that?
I think it's very humiliating.
Don't be a baby. What's your matter?
I'll tell me mum and she won't give him his egg.
Now, as I was saying, Hitler and his lackey Mussolini are here swarming over Europe, while we are manning our strong points, which are the Novelty Rock Emporium in the west, here, and Stone's Amusement Arcade in the east, here, with our advanced HQ at the Marigold Tea Rooms, here. Now we come to a very serious tactical point. It's quite on the cards that Adolf will have our positions taped. After all, we've been here for some time. He has air reconnaissance, photographs, espionage reports. He will observe our coming and our going. The point is, what are we going to do about it?
Try not to go so often.
Yeah. All right, that'll do, Fraser.
When we was in the Sudan, sir, we used to employ a little wrinkle.
Oh, yes.
See, them whirling dervishes discovered our headquarters. We used to shift them to an elsewhere. Then when they came at us with their assegais in the place where we wasn't, we used to fire at them from the place where we was. And after that, we used to go in with a cold steel, sir. They couldn't abide that, sir. Not up 'em, sir. No, sir.
No,
they didn't
all
like it.
right, all right. Thank you, Joe.
Oh, I haven't finished yet, sir.
Yeah, I think you made your point.
He never lets you finish, you know.
Now, what Jones was suggesting is, of course, standard military practice. Always surprise the enemy. And that is what I intend that we shall do. Hitler thinks we are here at the Novelty Rock Emporium and here at Stone's Amusement Arcade. But are we?
No.
Right. As from tonight, we shall be here. Now, can anyone tell me what I've drawn on the blackboard?
A little box with a dunce's cap on.
No pike.
It looks suspiciously like the Harris Orphans Holiday Home Hut.
That's quite right. That's very good, Wilson.
No, it's nothing, sir. Nothing at all.
It is the Harris Orphans Holiday Home Hut. As you can see, it has a commanding position on the beach. 200 yards from the sea, good observation, all-round field of fire.
And 3 dozen squealing kids.
No, Fraser, no. The orphans were evacuated to a place of safety after Dunkirk.
They used to wear those little blue aprons and straw hats. And they made the most wonderful sandcastles. I used to want to join them. They had such fun.
Yeah, you're quite right, Mr. Godfrey. That's the place.
Sissy and I invited 3 of them to tea once. We had cream buns. Oh, my, they did tuck in.
Oh, I'd forgotten all about cream buns.
Yeah, the Marigold Tea Rooms used to fill them with cream while you waited.
You know, I always used to lick the sugar off first. Yeah, otherwise it was so fine it went up my nose and made me sneeze.
Yeah, Wilson, may we please return to the tactical situation?
I'm so sorry, sir.
As I was saying, it has a commanding position and an all-round field of fire. If Adolf attacks us in the Novelty Rock Emporium, well, as from tonight, we shall give him everything we've got from the Harris Orphans Holiday Home Hut.
Evening, Captain Manry. Guard post all present and correct, sir.
Hi, Jones. Stand the men at ease.
Like your commanding officer said, stand at 8.
I thought Sergeant Wilson was in charge of the guard tonight.
That's right, sir, and I'm second in charge of the guard.
Where's Sergeant Wilson?
Well, he was feeling a bit drowsy, so I told him to have 40 winks.
40 winks?
Yes, he's over there on the bench.
Oh, is he? The all clear hasn't sounded. He's the guard commander. He should be alert at all times.
Well, it's all right, sir. I promised I'd wake him if there was an invasion.
Well, I'll wake him soon enough. Wilson, wake up.
Oh, Mavis, give it a rest.
Wilson!
Is there anything wrong, sir?
Come outside, Wilson.
What?
And jump to it.
All right, sir. Yes, of course, sir. Coming, sir.
Now, here, Wilson.
Yes, sir.
You're supposed to show an example to the men.
Right, sir.
How can I expect them to be on their toes during an alert when you're fast asleep?
Well, nothing was happening, sir. I was just having a little nap. You see, I've been having so many disturbed nights lately, what with the air raids and, one thing and another.
Yes. Well, I'm not concerned with your excuses, if excuses they be. You're going to have to pull yourself together, Wilson. The others managed to keep awake. You'll have to do the same. Or stand down for somebody who can.
Well, I'm sure, sir, if you're dissatisfied with my services, sir, I wouldn't dream of...
That is all, Sergeant. Fraser, where have you been?
Where do you think I've been? Patrolling the beach, of course.
Oh, yes. Any sign of anything in our southern approaches?
You mean the sea? Of course not. No Christian soul would venture out on a black night like this. It's too dark for a tomcat on heat.
Yes, well, be that as it may. Don't take any chances. Keep a good lookout.
Will there be a cup of tea on the way to help to clear my eyesight?
Pike will be over with at any moment. Good. I'm going back inside now.
Mr. Mannering, do you think we'll be getting some tea soon?
Pike will be over soon, Godfrey. That's probably him now. Oh, Mrs. Pike.
Hello, Mr. Mannering. Where's Arthur?
Oh, what is it, Mavis?
Ooh, Arthur. I had an awful time getting here.
Oh.
It's dark, and I swear someone was following me along the prom.
Oh, really, Mavis? It's hardly likely, is it?
Not everyone finds me unattractive, Arthur.
No. I didn't mean that. Anyway, you see, in the dark and with the blackout, you look just as attractive as a... No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that either.
Frank forgot the biscuits. Where is he?
He hasn't arrived yet, Mrs. Pike.
Hasn't arrived? He left 10 minutes before me with the flask. What's happened to him, Arthur?
Well, how should I know?
He's only a baby. You should look after him better. Ooh, perhaps that prowler's got him.
Don't distress yourself, Mrs. Pike. He's probably lost his way in the blackout.
Perhaps he's becoming strangled with some lady follower, sir. I often did that when I was a young rip.
Something's happened to him. I know something's happened to him.
Captain Mannering! Captain Mannering!
Coming, Fraser! What is it, Fraser?
I thought I heard a faint cry, sir. It's from over there, sir, to the water's edge.
What is it? What's going on here?
Absolute quiet, everybody. It's Pike.
Oh, Arthur!
It's all right, Mavis, all right.
Are you all right?
I've hurt my leg and I'm caught in the barbed wire.
Stupid boy. What's he doing there?
He must have missed his way and gone through the gap they leave open for the swimmers.
Well, don't leave him there in agony, Arthur. Go and help him back.
Well, yes, of course I will, yes. I wonder if one of you would be so kind as to come and help me over the wire.
I'd not try that if I was you, Sergeant. You'll be blown to little pieces before you've taken 10 paces from here.
Good Lord, yes. The minefield.
Arthur, he's in a minefield.
Now, don't worry, Mrs. Pike. We'll have him back in no time at all. Wilson, go and get on the phone to the engineers. Tell them we need to have a path cleared.
All right, sir. Right away.
It's a miracle Pike wasn't blown up getting there.
Permission to shout a short message of encouragement to Private Pike, sir.
Yes, go ahead, Jones.
Cheer up, Private Pike, and don't move a muscle, or you'll get blown to kingdom come.
Poor boy. He must be awfully cold and wet out there.
Oh, him with a delicate chest, too. Oh, you ought to take more care of him, Mr. Mannering.
I'm waging war, Mrs. Pike, not running a clinic. Wilson, what news of the sappers?
Well, they said they'd be along as soon as possible, sir. But they're rather busy at the moment, removing a landmine. I did say we'd be awfully grateful if they could get here just a teeny-weeny bit sooner.
Why, how long are they going to be?
About 3 hours.
Well, he'll just have to wait. Serves him right. Teach him to be more careful in future.
He'll drown.
Yeah, what's that, Fraser?
If you wait 3 hours, he'll drown. The tide's coming in fast.
He's quite right, Mr. Manning. High tide, you can't see that barbed wire.
Oh, Arthur, you've got to save him. Save my boy, Arthur. He's too young to go. He's got all his life before him.
Yes, Mavis, of course. Just give me time to think a bit.
While you're thinking, the water's coming up and he can't swim.
Don't panic. Private Pike, don't panic! Don't panic!
If none of you will do anything, I'm going to get Frank.
Stay where you are, Mrs. Pike.
Don't panic! Pikey!
Jones,
Don't
Jones.
panic! No!
Stop hopping about.
Yes, sorry, sir.
Hold on, Frank. Mother's coming.
You'll never get there, Mrs. Pike. There are mines everywhere.
Oh, but I must try.
Oh, how about getting a boat and rescuing him from the sea?
South Haven is the nearest. By the time we got back here, he'd already been drowned for an hour.
Oh, no.
Fraser. Do try and choose your words a little more carefully. Somehow we've got to get him across that minefield. Did anyone see it laid?
Aye, I did, sir. It was done in a sort of criss-cross pattern. The mines were laid about 5 yards apart, sir.
Well, we have to clear a path across somehow ourselves.
You know, sir, I saw a pamphlet once, a little while ago. I believe it's the sort of the dunn thing, to sort of prod the ground and feel for the mines.
You're right. Good thinking, Wilson.
Yes, sir, we could use a bayonet, sir. And when we felt a mine, sir, we could detour ourselves.
Yeah, very good, sir.
Don't forget, sir, there's the scaffolding and the rows of barbed wire.
The scaffolding is for tanks. It's no obstacle to us. But we shall have to cut the barbed wire. Get the cutters from the hut, Fraser.
Come on, sir.
We shall need something to mark the path as we go along.
And what about those little flags the orphans use to put on their sandcastles, sir? There's some of them in the hut, and they're awfully pretty.
Yes, it's a very good idea, Goblin. Bring some of those as well, Fraser.
I will.
Right. Now, we can't wait for the engineers. We'll start to clear a path. I know I don't have to ask for volunteers, so follow me.
Hold on, Pike. We'll soon be with you.
Are we all ready?
Sure.
Right. Stay close.
Arthur, not you.
What?
Don't you go, Arthur.
What are you talking about, Mavis?
I couldn't bear to lose you both. Let the others do it, Arthur.
Well, I can't do that. I mean, there are some things one just has got to do. I mean, otherwise, well, one isn't a man, is one?
We've always managed somehow, Arthur.
Wilson?
We're coming, sir.
What are you doing, Wilson?
Well, I'm sorry, sir. I'm just having a little chat with Mrs. Pike.
Oh, there's no time for that sort of thing. Right, men. Now, we may have to carry Pike back. So we must clear a path wide enough for the two of us.
Captain Man, sir, I would like to volunteer to clear a path wide enough for the two of us, sir.
Your time will come, Jones.
Let me do the prodding with the bayonet, sir. Let me do the prodding, sir.
No. Sergeant Wilson and I will lead. Jones, you and Fraser will follow us.
Aye.
Godfrey will bring up the rear. Godfrey? Where's Godfrey?
He's not here, sir.
Not here. I don't understand.
Do you know? It seems crystal clear to me.
What are you trying to say, Fraser?
Yeah, it's just like I always thought. The first whiff of danger, and he's away like a scared weasel.
You no call to say that, Private Fraser.
Well, he's not here, is he?
Mr. Manning, sir, Private Godfrey is quite frequently in the habit of not being here, on account of he gets caught short.
Yes, of course. He catches up. Now, where's the torch, Wilson?
I haven't got the torch, sir.
I distinctly remember telling you to bring the torch.
The word torch never, ever passed your lips.
You know perfectly well that you're responsible for the torch.
Excuse me, Mr. Manring, but wouldn't this be it protruding from your behind pocket?
Yes. Well done, Jones. Here, are you shine it, Fraser?
Aye, sir.
Right. Good luck, everybody. Here we go. Now, everyone lie down on the sand. Now then, Wilson, prod the sand in front of you with your bayonet, like this. Mm-hmm. And before you crawl forward, Make sure there's nothing there.
I certainly will, sir.
Soft here. Wilson.
Yes, sir.
You needn't prod every inch of the sand. The mine is at least 8 inches across, you know.
Yes, and I just thought it might pay to be rather cautious.
Come on, move up. It's all right.
I think it... No, it's all right.
Permission to speak, sir.
Yes, Jones?
If it wasn't all right, we'd know by now.
Yeah, thank you very much. Right, now let's start marking our route. Hand me a flag.
What sort would you like, sir? Got Swiss ones, Norwegian, Dutch, or you can have this one, sir. I think this one's from the Isle of Man.
That's not an Isle of Man flag. That's a swastika. Certainly not using that.
Well, sir, what about this French one? That's red, white, and blue. That's almost British.
All right, that'll do. Right, men. Prod away.
Mr. Mannering, sir!
Yes, Pike.
Don't be too long. The tide's coming in.
We'll be as quick as we can. More flags, Jones.
Yes, sir. Here you are, sir. Here you are.
Oh, dear. I'm going to drown. I know I am.
I say,
Who goes there? Friend or German?
it's only me, Frank.
Mr. Godfrey, how did you get here?
Well, it seemed to me that if you could walk along by the water's edge from the bathing gap, that I might be able to. I bought you a pair of water wings in case the others took some time getting them. They might help you keep afloat.
Thank you. Hey, you can't swim yourself, can you?
Oh, it's all right. I bought 2 pair of water wings. I expect you're getting rather cold, so I brought a blanket. There you are.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Godfrey. I don't know what my mum will say if I get a chill.
I think I'd better inflate these water wings just in case.
Keep prodding, man. That's it.
I expect Private Pike is getting a bit anxious.
Yes, I expect he is.
Don't panic, Private Pike! Don't panic!
Jones, what are you doing?
Really, Jones, my nerves won't stand it.
I'll just give him Private Pike a word of advice and encouragement, sir.
Well, don't. Just shut up.
What is it? Is Frank all right?
What are you doing here, Mrs. Pike?
Well, I heard this terrible cry. I thought something had happened to Frank.
It's all right, Mavis, it's all right. It was only Jones getting a little over-enthusiastic.
Well, it gave me a very nasty turn.
Yes, I'm sorry about that, Mrs. Pike. Now, would you mind returning to the hut? We're in the middle of a very delicate operation. Right, man, keep prodding. Hello? Hello, there's something here.
Could be a stone, I suppose.
Clear the sand away. Let's have a look. Perhaps you can lift it.
Be very careful, sir. Some of these things have booby trap devices to trap boobies.
Don't be quiet. It's metal, all right. It's not very large, though. Just as I thought. It's a mine.
It's mine. It's mine. Don't panic. It's mine. It's mine.
Jones!
It's mine.
Jones, will you be quiet? Just a minute. There's some writing on it. And it's not in English. Shine the light over here, Fraser, will you?
Mm-hmm.
Can you make it out?
Not ot any clue. Must be Russian.
I thought they were on our side.
These are our mines.
Oh, I suppose so they are. Dear, dear, one gets so confused, doesn't one?
Here, let me have a look.
Will you please not interfere with our mine, Mrs. Pike?
You're reading it the wrong way round. It says, welcome to Warmington. It's a child's bucket.
So it is. Very similar shape, of course.
It's nothing like a mine.
Mrs. Pike, will you please return to the hut?
I don't see why I should...
Mavis, please.
Oh, very well, then.
More flags, Jones.
Yes, sir. Hold on, sir. Right you are. Coming up.
I must say, we seem to have a good supply.
Well, there weren't many, sir, but with great ingenuity, I've been using them twice.
You've been what?
The old fool, he's taking out the markers behind us.
Really, Jones.
Oh.
It's awfully tiresome of you.
Oh, never mind. Keep going, men. Just got to get through this wire.
That's right. Just stay where you are, Pike.
I can't do anything else, can I, Uncle Sergeant? I've got a piece of rusty barbed wire sticking in my bum.
Don't be coarse, Pike. Give me the clippers, Fraser.
Here you are.
I'd like to volunteer to clip with the clippers, sir.
Oh, do be quiet, Jones.
I've never known him like this before, Mr. Fraser.
He's worried, you fool.
Why, has he got trouble at home, then?
Nearly there.
Could you clip the bit that's sticking into my you-know-what, please?
Just a minute.
Ooh, ooh.
There.
Oh, you've no idea what a relief that is.
Can you crawl back with us now?
I'll try, but my ankle's terribly painful.
We should have brought a blanket to drag you.
Excuse me, Mr. Manning. Would you care for a cup of tea before you start back?
Godfrey, how did you get here?
When I came along by the water's edge, I thought Pike might be rather frightened here on his own.
But you might have been blown to pieces.
Oh, yes, I suppose so. I'm afraid there's no sugar. It's back in the hut. Oh, and I brought a blanket.
It's a very foolish thing to do, Godfrey. Damn brave, all the same.
A man of steel. A man of steel. I always knew it.
The water's getting awfully close, sir.
Right then, Sergeant. You and me'll drag Pike back on the blanket.
All right.
And I'll lead the way, and I'll keep prodding, sir, in case you've overlooked a mine.
Right. 1, 2, 3, heave!
Oh, I'll be glad when my mum's got a poultice on it.
Heave!
It was sticking right in. It was all rusty as well. Hey, can you die from rust poisoning?
Oh, do be quiet, Frank.
Wait a minute. I've struck something.
Let me come through. Give me a bayonet, Fraser.
Here, sir.
Thank you. By Jove, it is something.
Frank, are you all right?
Yes, Mum.
Oh, thank goodness.
Mrs. Pike, I thought I told you to stay in the hut.
I've got a message for you. The engineers have just been on the telephone.
Oh, good. Are they on the way?
They say they're too busy, and anyway, there's no need. There aren't any mines in this part of the beach.
What?
They didn't lay any mines. It's all clear here. So you needn't have gone to all that fuss lying on the wet sand and playing with those silly bayonets.
Well, if there are no mines, what's this doing here?
Good Lord. Good Lord. It is a mine.
So it is. God. You must get away from here at once. But don't panic.
That's right. Don't panic, anyone. Don't panic. We struck a mine. Don't panic. Women and children first.
Quite right, Jones. Follow me.
In that episode of Dad's Army, based on the original television series by Jimmy Perry and David Croft, you heard Arthur Lowe as Captain Mannering, John LeMessurier, Sergeant Wilson, Clive Dunn, Corporal Jones, John Lorry, Private Fraser, Arnold Ridley, Private Godfrey, Ian Lavender, Private Pike, and Pearl Hackney as Mrs. Pike. Sergeant Save My Boy was adapted for radio by Michael Knowles and Harold Snowd and produced by John Dias.